2019 Ramon Magsaysay Award. ANGKHANA NEELAPAIJIT. A predominantly Muslim region in a staunchly Buddhist country, southern Thailand has struggled with religious and ethnic conflict since a separatist insurgency rocked the region in 1948. Insurgency and militarization have exacted a heavy toll. Of the more than 6,000 killed in the conflict since 2004, some 90% were civilians. These deaths have included the unsolved killings of civil society and human rights activists. One of the more sensational of these killings was the enforced disappearance in 2004 of noted human rights lawyer Somchai Neelapaichit, who was abducted in Bangkok the day after he had publicly accused the military of torturing detainees. Somchai's enforced disappearance and subsequent death was a tragic blow to the cause of human rights in the country and a devastating personal nightmare for his family. But it would also be the beginning of a remarkable journey for Somchai's widow, ANGKHANA Neelapaichit, herself a Muslim Thai of humble origins. When her husband disappeared, ANGKHANA was a housewife looking after their 5 young children and a small business. Thrust into a dangerous and public controversy, she valiantly worked to bring the police officers involved to trial, but due to a flawed justice system, they were acquitted. Despite death threats, ANGKHANA continued to seek justice for her husband and the other human rights victims. She applied herself to learning the laws, filing legal appeals, and navigating the Thai legal system. She bonded with other victims and worked with civil society groups in and outside Thailand. In 2006, ANGKHANA founded Justice for Peace Foundation, or JPF, a network of human rights and peace advocates that documented the human rights situation in southern Thailand, thus raising public awareness and putting pressure on government to act on human rights cases, provided legal assistance to victims, and trained women on human rights and the peace process. Pushing for laws that will criminalize torture and enforce disappearances, JFP and other groups succeeded in getting the Thai government to sign and ratify the United Nations Convention Against Torture in 2007, and the Convention to Protect All Persons from Enforced Disappearances in 2012. Already major victories, even though the implementing rules have yet to be issued. In 2015, ANGKHANA was made Commissioner of the National Human Rights Commission of Thailand, the only commission member with grassroots human rights experience. Despite the skepticism of many, ANGKHANA has taken her appointment seriously, firmly committed to taking the peaceful legal approach to fighting human rights abuses and to doing what she can in pushing the limits. Quietly non-confrontational, she does not waver in her mind against injustice. As Commissioner, she has successfully interceded with the authorities for detainees to have access to lawyers and their families, and for victims to get financial compensation. She firmly took action on cases of arbitrary arrest and detention, and the exercise of freedom of expression and assembly. She has widened her advocacy to address problems like forced child marriages, trafficking of women, and the rights of asylum seekers and refugees. ANGKHANA's term as Commissioner ended in July 2019, but there is no doubt she will remain involved in human rights advocacy. This is for her a deeply personal advocacy. People have wondered at the transformation of this self-effacing housewife into a leading human rights defender, but ANGKHANA herself is not surprised. In her soft-spoken and measured tone, she asserts, quote, "Most women experience conflict and violence in a different way than men. They also develop unique skills for resisting, addressing, and preventing conflict. The work of justice and peace cannot afford to neglect the constructive contributions of women." Close quote. In electing ANGKHANA NEELAPAIJIT to receive the 2019 Ramon Magsaysay Award, the Board of Trustees recognizes her unwavering courage in seeking justice for her husband and many other victims of violence and conflict in southern Thailand. Her systematic, unflagging work to reform a flawed and unfair legal system, and the shining proof she is that the humblest ordinary person can achieve national impact in deterring human rights abuses.